Hey there, and welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you're joining me right now, it tells me you're focused, you love learning, and honestly, you're probably always on the lookout for efficient ways to just make your life better. Well, today, we're diving into an absolutely brilliant concept from the renowned relationship researchers over at the Gottman Institute. I want you to imagine a scenario with me for a second. We're not talking about a long, drawn out month of couples therapy here or some massive, overwhelming lifestyle overhaul. No, this is a highly focused, highly effective sprint. We're going to explore exactly what it looks like if you have exactly 24 hours to strengthen your relationship. No more, no less. It's a fascinating premise, and I promise you, it's going to completely change the way you look at your day-to-day interactions. Okay, let's dive into this. 24 hours, just one single rotation of the Earth. I really want you to feel the ticking clock motif here. This isn't about someday or, when we finally have more time on vacation. The relationship reset countdown starts right now, today, literally in the very environment you're sitting in. By putting a hard 24-hour boundary on this challenge, we instantly strip away that procrastination that so often plagues relationship advice. It completely forces us to act. It brings this awesome sense of urgency and excitement right back into the dynamic. So think about that right now. What if you had exactly 24 hours to strengthen your relationship? If the clock started this very second, what would you actually do? Would you panic, freeze up, or would you know exactly what levers to pull? The stakes are high here because your time is entirely limited. I'm talking straight to you and, hey, to your partner right now. This isn't some theoretical exercise for next year. This is an immediate, highly personal challenge. The clock is already moving. Every interaction, every single glance, every word spoken in the next day matters immensely. Now, what's really interesting about this exact phrasing from the Gottman Institute is the constraint. Let's say you have exactly 24 hours, not a minute longer. Look at that limit, not a minute longer. It is just so brilliant because having a strict deadline makes relationship advice suddenly feel actionable rather than totally overwhelming. When we hear we need to work on our relationship, it sounds like we're being asked to move an entire mountain. It sounds exhausting, right? But when we're told we only have 24 hours to make an impact, actually, scratch that, it's not a mountain anymore. It becomes a single climbable hill. The constraint actually sets you free to focus on what truly moves the needle right this second. To tackle this 24-hour sprint, the source material breaks everything down into 5 specific things that you can do that are really, really helpful. But listen, these aren't just random, disconnected tips thrown at a wall. Having these 5 specific elements gives our 24-hour journey a crystal clear, step-by-step structure that moves chronologically with you from the moment you wake up to the final 24-hour mark. You aren't just flailing around hoping to magically be a better partner today. You have an actual roadmap. This turns what is usually a vague goal into a highly structured, relatable journey that fits perfectly into the span of just one single day. So the crucial point is how this flows. This isn't some rigid checklist you have to stress over. It's a journey that moves naturally with your daily rhythm. Navigating the crazy morning rush, surviving that afternoon slump, and intentionally reconnecting in the evening. But here is the thing. While we are framing this challenge as a 5-step journey through your day, the absolute, undeniable, critical launchpad for the whole shebang is step number 1. According to the Gottman Institute, the number 1 most helpful thing you can do is to pay attention to what your partner is doing right. Everything else throughout your entire day cascades from this single foundational action. Honestly, if you don't get step 1 right, the rest of the 24 hours is kind of just going to fall flat. And this brilliantly illustrates the core conflict we face every single day. On one hand, we have our natural negativity bias, right? We are literally hardwired to notice the unwashed coffee mug, the slight edge in a tone of voice, the forgotten chore. It happens to all of us. But on the other hand, the challenge is paying attention to what your partner is doing right. That requires serious intentionality. It is a bright, deliberate pivot away from our default settings. You have 24 hours to actively suppress that natural negativity bias and entirely embody this positive attention. I want to slow down for a second here. This is so absolutely crucial. Step number 1, notice the good. This isn't just about passively appreciating them if they happen to do something grand or buy you flowers. No, this is an active, deliberate hunt. You must actively look for the good. It is the essential first action you have to take right now. Look for the tiny things. Did they make the coffee? Did they handle a really stressful email well? Did they simply offer a warm smile when you walked into the room? Noticing the good is a muscle. And let me tell you, for the next 24 hours, you are going to be flexing it constantly. Let's move forward and see how this builds across our timeline. Because executing step 1 acts as the ultimate catalyst for a super relatable, transformative journey through your entire day. Picture this. In the morning rush, you set a positive baseline before even walking out the door. maybe by just acknowledging out loud that they got the kids' lunches packed while you were showering. Then, by the afternoon, when work stress peaks and you're basically like ships passing in the night, your goal is to maintain that positive focus. Just send a quick text appreciating how they handled a tough meeting. And finally, by the evening connection, you wrap up the day by reflecting together, maybe just sitting on the couch for 10 uninterrupted minutes to talk about what went great. You're basically building this giant snowball of positive reinforcement that just grows larger and larger as the clock ticks down. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. The clock is ticking. Your 24 hours has already started. So I have to ask you, what is your partner doing right now? Take a second, look at them or just think about them if they aren't in the room, and find one single thing they are doing correctly in this very moment. Grab onto it, hold it in your mind, and let that be the exact spark that transforms your relationship over the next 24 hours. The challenge is on. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.